here on Friday, March 2nd, and this is MoBuzz TV with news about that whole diving stock market thing. On Tuesday, the Dow Jones Industrial Average dropped pretty dramatically. There was plenty of speculation about the significance and cause of all this, but the people blaming China or a suicide bombing in Afghanistan may be a bit off the mark. The Associated Press is reporting that it was exacerbated by a computer failure. After there was a huge surge in trading because of people selling off Chinese stocks, Dow Jones & Company had a problem switching to a backup computer system. Trading was somewhat frozen in a bit of a bottleneck, and this logistical problem turned a bad trading day into the worst drop over 500 points in one day since the September 11th attacks. Tech support? Anyone? A couple of items for those living on the eastern side of the pond now. First, the PlayStation 3. If you're in Europe and you've already been frustrated at the delays in its release, the higher price, its poor availability, well, guess what? More bad news. The European version of the PS3 does not include PS2 hardware, so adios to good backwards compatibility. Why the difference? To cut costs and speed up production, says Sony. Elsewhere in the "why don't we get what the Americans get" file, the British. They're upset about Microsoft Vista being too expensive. Information Week reports that after currency conversion, the UK Vista costs a whopping 65% more than the US version. There's an e-petition feature on the Prime Minister's website, and so far over 6,000 people have signed one, urging Tony Blair to pressure Microsoft to be fairer in their pricing. The petition's author says he sees no reason for the difference, quote, other than Microsoft's belief that the UK customers will pay more than their US counterparts. Unfortunately, I believe that is what's known as capitalism, and it's kind of what we've got to work with. Quick mention just for a moment here, BoingBoing put up a cool link to all the free documentaries on Google Video. There's stuff on French freerunners, Discovery Channel's history of hacking, and about 3,700 other cool things to watch while you could be working. Should keep me busy for a while, and I apologize in advance for my anticipated lack of productivity. Oh, and from the "what is it all coming to" file, via Shiny Shiny comes news of the launch of Fake Your Space, who will be, quote, bringing popularity to the masses March 15th. Basically, they sell you friends for your MySpace, Facebook, or other social networking site. High quality friends, quote, if you are tired of seeing everyone else with the hottest friends and want some hotties of your own. It starts at $1 a month, but is priced on a scale depending on how many friends you want and how many comments you want them to leave you. And if you know anyone who signs up for this, give them a hug. One they don't have to pay for, because this is just such a cry for help. Two little online video tidbits now. First, video sharing sites are moving from just being hosters to being a little like distributors. Like movie studios fighting over big-name stars, smaller video sharing sites are now trying to lure away those personalities who have achieved YouTube fame. The New York Times reports that, for example, Smule Tenenhaus of the Ask a Jew series has recently received offers from MetaCafe and Mania TV. As we know, Lonely Girl 15 defected to Rever, where they offer half of all advertising revenues, but Paul Robinette, aka Renetto, insists that he's staying with YouTube because he knows revenue sharing's coming, as YouTube co-founder Chad Hurley announced in January. And lastly, YouTube got a bit of an earful from the Motion Picture Academy, who demanded they pull all clips of the recent Oscar ceremony. Okay, might seem reasonable, except that the MPAA seems a bit confused and have pulled all their own clips off of their own site as well. They've decided that removing all trace of the Oscars from the internet will, quote, whet people's appetite for next year's show. Really? I mean, maybe I could understand that they want people to watch on TV next year and not to assume that they'll be able to catch it all ad-free online. They want the spectacle to remain pure and intact, a one-time event, but no, really? They think that'll work? Can anyone else out there explain their reasoning here? Because we can't really figure it out. That's it for today. Now for a trip down memory lane with a clip from this video that Shiny Shiny TV dredged up. It's from 1993, and it's all about the phenomenon of internet. This thing's gonna be huge.
Well, there's a revolution going on in rec rooms, offices, and classrooms around the world. A revolution in which 15 million people are taking part. They're sharing scientific data, arguing philosophy, or passing on cooking tips and gossip night and day through a computer network called Internet. For about $200 a year, they log on to personal computers connected to phone lines and communicate across cultures and continents. Bill Cameron has this report on the growing phenomenon of Internet.
For years they've been saying these things would change the world, would mature from adding machines and typewriters to tools of the human spirit. Now, maybe it's coming true because of Internet.